The smoke now around this UFO story is unbearable. It's choking. There is so much here. And again, from an analytic perspective, the system is blinking red.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're taking a closer look at the reported and rumored links between the U.S. government and alien life, all the way up to the bombshell UAP hearings in 2025.
Again, the smoke is overwhelming, and to your point, I think the tinfoil hats should now be worn by the people who are denying that there's something to this story.
Number 10, a history of conspiracy.
We're going to Area 51 and the black mailbox in Nevada, then down to Camp Verde, then to Apache Junction, and then on down to Roswell, New Mexico for the site of the famous crash of 47.
No, as everybody knows about. Stop it. It's an alleged site at this point.
But why would they admit there was a crash if the crash happened somewhere else?
Let's just agree to disagree, right?
The U.S. government has long been the target for huge conspiracy theories. From the moon landing to the Kennedy assassination, the whispers of secret agendas and large-scale cover-ups are constant. And in some cases, such as with MK-Ultra, a CIA program of human experiments and attempted drug-induced brainwashing, the conspiracies turned out to be true. With alien life specifically, the modern allegations really begin in 1947 with the Roswell incident. Reports emerged in July of that year that a flying saucer had been retrieved in New Mexico after crash landing. There soon followed further claims that it was alien in origin, complete with extraterrestrial pilots.
Can you say that again?
The film showed the autopsy of an alien being. It was carried out at Roswell Air Base, New Mexico, in July 1947.
The U.S. military also initially stated that it was a, quote, flying disc, before quickly backtracking to claim it was a weather balloon. Decades later, that was also revised, with the government saying the debris was actually from a downed nuclear surveillance balloon used at the time to monitor Soviet activity. Number 9, Project Blue Book.
Do you believe in aliens?
What do you mean, aliens?
If nothing else, the Roswell incident fired up public speculation like nothing before. For many, the rushed-out weather balloon explanation just didn't hold up. It became the trigger point for a massive influx in UFO sightings and conspiracy theories. So much so that in the 1950s, the U.S. Air Force launched Project Blue Book, an official investigation into UFOs.
Rather than combing through reports, Dr. Hynek personally investigated sightings and interviewed eyewitnesses across the country. Based on his research, he developed a new system to categorize UFO sightings.
Blue Book ran from 1952 to 1969, during which time thousands of cases were investigated. The majority were dismissed, labeled as misidentifications, and usually as natural phenomena, but a small percentage were officially classified as unexplained. In total, this amounted to 701 UFO sightings and encounters that the government couldn't account for. Or at least, that was the official line.
What my father was fascinated by were this irreducible core of 5% of cases that could not be explained. There was just something that was too legitimate to ignore.
Number 8, the Majestic 12.
I'm here to discuss the so-called flying saucers.
The Majestic 12 is an alleged top-secret group of high-ranking politicians, military figures, and scientists formed in the late 1940s under executive order by then-President Harry Truman. It's said that its primary goal was to recover and study alien technology. The story erupted in the 1980s when multiple ufologists claimed to have uncovered U.S. government documents or proof of government documents from the 40s and 50s revealing the Majestic 12's existence.
My name is Zed. You're all here because you're the best of the best. Marines, Air Force, Navy SEALs, Army Rangers, NYPD.
If true, it would mean that for decades, a super select few in America will have been privy to genuine extraterrestrial material, the likes of which could alter the course of history forever. However, in this case, the Majestic 12 is a contentious issue, even in ufology circles. The documents that emerged in the 80s are typically thought to be fake. But for those who stand by them, that's just what they want you to believe.
Hey man, what the hell is all this?
Back in the mid-1950s, the government started a little underfunded agency with the simple and laughable purpose of establishing contact with a race not of this planet.
If you look directly at the end of this device, we'll administer the eye test.
Everybody thought the agency was a joke, except the aliens who made contact March 2, 1961, outside New York. There were 9 of us the first night. 7 agents, 1 astronomer, and 1 dumb kid who got lost on the wrong back road.
Number 7, Area 51.
There were MPs on all corners of the craft. It's about a 40-foot diameter dish-shaped craft that was perfectly intact. There wasn't a scratch on it. There were 4 beings associated with this craft, and they shipped it to Groom Lake.
Groom Lake is the Area 51 region in Nevada, when Area 51 was just bare bones.
If modern UFO allegations have a physical home, then it's surely along the isolated runways and inside the sprawling hangars of Homey Airport, otherwise known as Area 51, deep in the Nevada desert. The official line has long been that it's a highly classified facility used for testing and developing new vehicles and technologies, most likely for the military. However, its links to an alleged alien cover-up are world famous. Bob Lazar made headlines in 1989 when he claimed to have previously worked in Sector 4, or S4, at Area 51, which he says was and is a high-security, top-secret underground lab. Lazar claims that he was tasked with attempting to reverse engineer alien tech that the government had retrieved. Lazar says that a means of anti-gravity was central to that tech. The development of anti-gravity for human use is said to be a key goal for those who work at Area 51.
I know people that had worked for me that after I left there, they had seen Bob Lazar there, and they admitted that to me recently. I know that his critics piled on because obviously they did not want the word to come out that there were in fact UFOs in our possession.
Number 6, Zeta Reticuli.
All right, kid, here's the deal. At any given time, there are around 1,500 aliens on the planet, most of them right here in Manhattan. And most of them are decent enough. They're just trying to make a living.
From Roswell to S4, all of these alleged alien materials said to be hidden by America need to have actually come from somewhere. Because space is huge, and our planet is just a tiny speck on the gargantuan canvas of the universe, there are endless possibilities. However, the name Zeta Reticuli comes up more often than most. Zeta Reticuli is a binary star system approximately 39 light-years away from Earth. The Majestic 12 are said to have communicated with Zeta Reticuli. Bob Lazar claims to have read highly classified documents detailing how Earth has liaised with aliens from Zeta Reticuli for at least 10,000 years. The first prominent mention, however, dates back to the Barney and Betty Hill abduction incident in 1961. The Hills' alleged encounter with alien life supposedly saw them beamed up into an alien spaceship, where they were experimented on. Afterwards, Betty Hill produced a star map she claims to have seen on board the ship, with her map bearing a close resemblance to Zeta Reticuli.
They followed us for approximately 30 miles. And then in an area called Indian Head, it left the top of the mountain, came out over the highway, and stopped midair on the highway right in front of us.
Number 5, UFO Enlightenment.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. My gosh. They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude.
In the 21st century, speculation has, if anything, sped up. In 2017, 3 videos made by the US military were leaked, all showing UFOs performing physically and technologically impossible feats. These became known as Gimbal, Go Fast, and the Tic Tac, and their authenticity was eventually confirmed by the Pentagon. A huge uptick in UFO interest followed, leading to the government coining a new term: Unidentified Aerial or Anomalous Phenomena, or UAP.
Since the Roswell incident in 1947, many Americans have wondered about the dangers of unknown objects crisscrossing our skies. Whether these are UAPs or weather phenomena, advanced technology from American allied or enemy forces, or something more out of this world.
The 2017 leaks also led the way for revelations concerning secret UFO initiatives run by the government in the modern day. Between the years 2007 and 2012, there was the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, the existence of which was primarily revealed by the whistleblower Luis Elizondo. On June 25, 2021, under mounting pressure, the U.S. issued an official UFO report in what some deemed to be an attempt towards transparency. However, the lack of substance to that report left many dissatisfied.
Former President Obama a few years ago said that I'm going to quote as directly as I can, but there is footage and records of objects in the skies, and we cannot explain how they moved and their trajectory.
Number 4, David Grusch.
Do you believe there's an active disinformation campaign within our government to deny existence of UAPs, yes or no?
I don't have an answer to that.
As previously stated publicly, yes.
The UAP Task Force, or UAPTF, was set up by the Department of Defense in 2020 as something of a follow-on from the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. However, soon it would be hugely questioned as well. David Grusch, a U.S. Air Force veteran who had previously worked on the UAPTF, went public in June 2023, sensationally claiming that the United States had been running a, quote, multi-decade UAP crash retrieval and reverse engineering program. Grusch was questioned in depth at a congressional hearing just weeks later, in July 2023.
Do you believe that officials at the highest levels of our national security apparatus have unlawfully withheld information from Congress and subverted our oversight authority?
There are certain elected leaders that had more information that I'm not sure what they've shared with certain Gang of Eight members or et cetera, but certainly I would not be surprised.
There, he made reference to non-human biologics and claimed that he had personal knowledge of people who've been harmed or injured in efforts to cover up or conceal America's UAP endeavors. In short, Grusch is on record suggesting that America is in possession of extraterrestrial crafts and alien bodies.
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries, yeah.
Number 3, Immaculate Constellation.
So a new whistleblower has come forward with a written report that this person has shared with some members of Congress and with me, and the report is quite extraordinary. It says that there is an unacknowledged special access program called Immaculate Constellation.
On October 8, 2024, the journalist Michael Schellenberger added yet another layer of intrigue. He published an explosive article revealing details about another, this time reportedly beyond top-secret program, called Immaculate Constellation, working from the intel of an, at the time, protected source from within the U.S. government. Schellenberger wrote about, as his claimant described, the existence of a massive and purposely hidden database of UAP sightings and records.
The key incident that's the most extraordinary is there are allegations made in the report that one of the top-line fighters in the US, the F-22 Raptor, was actually boxed in by as many as 3 to 6 orbs and forced out of an airspace area.
It's said that even most of the U.S. government itself is unaware of Immaculate Constellation. It's an entirely off-the-books databank, an unacknowledged special access program, but one that even Congress doesn't know about. If true, then Schellenberger says that Immaculate Constellation is constitutionally illegal. More specifically, though, Schellenberger's whistleblower suggests that, as part of the program, those who do know about it have had access to alien crafts and technologies, and potentially, again, for decades.
Basically, there is this idea, and it is in the whistleblower report, that the United States government is in possession of craft that it has itself made based on UAPs that it has captured, and apparently using anti-gravity as the means for propulsion.
Number 2, return to Congress.
Do you think that Americans will learn new information about UAPs, or are you expecting massive revelations on Wednesday?
I think we're going to learn some things. It's peeling back the layers of an onion. The one thing I think that will happen eventually is President Trump will move towards total disclosure.
Early November 2024 was a turbulent period in American politics, the U.S. having just decided its new president. Nevertheless, UAP transparency remained a pressing issue at the top of the agenda, with a long-awaited second major congressional hearing taking place on November 13th. At the hearing's beginning, Chairwoman Nancy Mace underlined the situation by highlighting how the transparency of the Defense Department and intelligence community had long been, quote, abysmal. While David Grusch had previously been flanked by two others during his hearing, David Fravor and Ryan Graves, there were 4 key witnesses this time around. These were Dr. Tim Galladay, a former Rear Admiral in the U.S. Navy, Michael Gold, a former NASA contractor, who notably worked as part of an independent UAP study group for NASA, and then 2 people who we've already met in this video, Luis Elizondo, formerly of the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, and Michael Schellenberger, the journalist whose article first broke the news about Immaculate Constellation. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into Settings and switch on your notifications. Number 1, a disinformation campaign.
Big hearing today. I feel like this is your Super Bowl, right? You live for these kind of moments. What are you hoping for, Nick?
Yes, absolutely, Marky. Very exciting day. Very psyched for this. I think we're going to learn a lot.
If onlookers had been hoping for the revelation of undeniable evidence of alien life or technology from the November hearing, then they'll likely have been disappointed. Rather, the 4 witnesses were grilled on their personal claims toward there being a large-scale cover-up of UAP information. Schellenberger again spoke of Immaculate Constellation, while Gold particularly drove home how NASA could serve to investigate UAP if only it were funded to do so.
NASA personnel stepping forward and participating in such discussions would make a powerful statement to the scientific community that UAP should be taken seriously and researched accordingly.
All witnesses were united, though, on the issue of stigma around UAP claims, with suggestions that this stigma was and is sown by a select few in the government as part of a disinformation campaign. Elizondo spoke of a culture of intimidation and of efforts by the Pentagon to destroy the credibility of anyone who comes forward. During questions, the issue of whistleblower resistance and ridicule was briefly discussed.
And what I thought would be a 90-minute meeting just to meet with leadership turned out to be an hours-long influence operation on me, where they attempted to convince me of the validity of the very flawed and error-ridden historical records report.
Schellenberger ended his opening statement by suggesting that the intelligence community was treating the public like children. While the hearing still didn't prove that the government has alien technology, it did highlight just how much is seemingly kept back, not just from the American people, but also from those on Capitol Hill.
I'll show you this example here. This is a presentation from the UATP task force. This is completely absurd. It's nuts, this level of censorship, of redaction on a document.
So what do you think is really happening? Is the government hiding alien technology? If so, when, if ever, will we get full disclosure? Let us know your verdict in the comments.
Makes you think, doesn't it? What? Where is everybody?
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.